Well, hello. Welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. It doesn't get any better than this. Well, actually, it does get a lot better than this. But for today, for me, it doesn't get any better than this. Welcome to the show. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live, directly right now live, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and click the Watch Live tab. That way you get in on the chat. We've got a great chat room. Folks are just having a lot of fun there talking about what's going on or what's about to go on. And that's where you can ask questions of me and my guest during the show and in the post show. And if you're watching live, I hope you'll stay around for the post show. In fact, if you're watching the recorded version by YouTube of this show, you're going to get the post show too. So stick around when the jaws of death close down and you can watch that. And also don't forget to subscribe. Full disclosure, this is an infomercial. This is an infomercial for my company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Eastern Shore Broadcasting. We represent vMix, and we represent PTZ Optics, and Magewell, and X-Keys, and we're negotiating with another one tomorrow. We'll let you know that one next week. And the idea is that we can bring to you expertise on a limited product line so that we know this product line intimately. It's not like, we're not like B&H Photo where they sell 10 zillion things, but they really don't know a whole lot about any of them. We're going to sell a very limited number of things and we're going to know them in depth. So if you need to deal with folks that are in the know, then you need to deal with us, easternshorebroadcasting.com. We also have our own house brand of live streaming PCs called Live Streaming Gear. In fact, we've got one on the workbench headed for a church in Oregon tomorrow. If you want more information on that, go to our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, and go to the store and look up the live streaming gear. If you have questions, if there's a configuration there that doesn't quite meet your needs, we customize them all the time. So shoot us an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, or if you go to the website, there's a contact form. Heck, there's also our phone number. You can actually pick up the phone and talk to a real live person. Well, except if you call during the show time, you'll get voicemail. But anyway, so that's the infomercial. That's the infomercial. All the rest of it's just going to be fun. Where should we start? Golly gee. Well, I met this person online about a year ago. And this person was pretty unique in the live streaming world, because this person is a woman, and there are not that many women in our little community of live streamers. When I look at my YouTube statistics, it's like 99.4% male. You hear the Jack Russells in the background. Sorry about that. That's the post office alarm. And so it's always a treat to have a woman that's interested in live streaming. We had Ty Young on 3 weeks ago to talk about what she's doing in live streaming. I had a call from one of my favorite live streamers yesterday, Udall, who worked with me in some training a while back and is doing some great projects. But mostly women are absent in our little world. And so when we get somebody in that's smart and loves live streaming, it's always a treat. And so I wanted to bring somebody like that on the show to you. This person actually works in the, I guess you could say she works in the live streaming industry. Well, let me just not have all this introduction without telling you who it is. Let me bring in my guest. My guest today is Tess Protesto with PTZ Optics. Hey, Tess, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for having me. I'm flattered by all the sweet words you just said.
Well, don't be flat. Don't be flattered for long. I mean, really, But Tess is a graduate of Westchester University with a BA in Communication Studies, and so she graduates. Well, I'm not going to tell the story. You tell the story. You graduate. You're fresh out of college, and you put out a slew of resumes.
I put out a few, but Haverford Systems position really stuck out to me because there was this element of video production. I was interested in marketing and social media marketing specifically, but I've always enjoyed and been part of in school and whatnot, you know, the video production classes and clubs. So I thought, ooh, this is like the best of both worlds for me. Let me go ahead and put my app in for that. So long story short, I got the interview. They asked us to submit a blog about our current computer. I know nothing about technology. I still know bare minimum. I'm still learning all of that. But I said, okay, what am I going to do? All right, I can write. I BS'd my way through this blog post. Paul, I'm sorry, but I did. And I thought, what can make me stand out? Because I really want this job. So I said, why don't I make a video? It's part of the job description. It's part of what they want. It's a little risky because they might think I'm a weirdo or a freak for doing it because they didn't ask for it. But that turned out that's what got me the job. Paul tells me now, he's like, nobody else did that. And like the fact that you went above and beyond, that's what did it. And now I'm really happy I did it, knowing how much video production is involved in this position and this business in general. I was like, phew, that was really what did it for me.
And you also, as a bonus, found out that this was just a few blocks away from where your husband works.
Yes, true. And he recently left.
Oh, no.
That's a whole nother story. But yeah, the majority of the time that I worked here, we've been able to carpool. It's literally across the street from his work. So that was a big bonus. It was one of those things where you just feel like it's meant to be. So we're great, and I love it here. That's why you don't see me posting on YouTube so much anymore, is because I'm committed to everything that's going on here, and I'm tired when I get home.
Well, you're a full-time employee, you're a full-time mom, you're a full-time wife. I mean, there's a lot going on there. And you've got a youngster?
Yep. Yes, a 2-year-old boy, Jason. Oh, I should have sent you a picture. He's 2.5. Jason.
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I was watching one of your YouTube videos this morning, getting ready for the show, and you were doing the beauty application, and
the 40 Shades,
and he was bouncing on the bed behind you. It was absolutely precious. It was precious, and it was like, yeah,
he's interested in it.
Well, and you were just so mother-like, and just kind of saying it's okay, and went back and played on the bed with him. Anyway, that's just the granddad and me coming out, because I love that kind of stuff.
That's the element of storytelling.
That is true.
That's what I'm trying to achieve with that kind of thing.
Well, and it got me. I mean, I watched the whole video, and I don't give a flip about makeup. I mean, although one of the questions, and we're jumping way ahead of things, but I got to jump in with this one right now. Do guys wear makeup when they live stream? Does Paul wear makeup?
That's a great question. And Paul and I had recently discussed this, because I'll bring up Live Streaming Pros, one of their recent episodes. David said that he sometimes does wear makeup on screen if there's like redness or blemish or something. And I said that to Paul. I'm like, you know what? We should have like some makeup here that even you could use. I'll never forget the day, I might get in trouble for saying this, Paul came into work and he had suction cupped one of William's toys to his head. This really embarrassing story by Paul. I don't care. It's fine. Maybe it's fine. And he ripped it off, and then he had this big dark mark on his face. And it's days like that you're like, you know what? Maybe we should have some makeup on deck.
Yep.
And I don't think there's any shame in that.
Nope. I guess you can take it right back off.
At least powder, or it depends.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you might be surprised to know that certainly, God, why did I say that? I don't even want to look at the chat at this point to see what he said. But in big productions, they're all wearing makeup.
Right. And pants. Yes, got it. Okay, good. We'll move right along. Yeah, there we go. All right, so you get this job, you go to work for Paul. All of a sudden, they're throwing you all sorts of cool projects, and here you are, just still wet behind the ears from college. I mean, you must have just been freaking out.
I graduated in December and I started here in January, so there was no time to spare, and I was happy because I need money, but of course. But yeah, and I wasn't sure in the beginning if I was ever going to be part of the live streams, But I love this kind of stuff. I soak this stuff up. So when he invited me on to do a little social media blurb, I was all for it. And I'm so happy that now it's just sort of become part of our production.
Yep.
And I think the audience enjoys the back and forth as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You guys have got a great repartee. It really, really works well. Yeah, and it comes across that you guys like each other, you respect each other, you pay attention to each other. I mean, there's a definite kind of on-screen chemistry that y'all have got working, and excuse me, that really does help keep the audience focused in too, because you can tell when people don't.
And we
like
can back each other up.
Yes. Yes.
Right, that's true.
Yes.
And you know, when one of us is at a loss for words, it's nice to have another person to pick up and be like, oh, well, you meant to say this or something.
So you guys have got, how many different shows are y'all doing now weekly? It seems like every time I turn on YouTube, there's a live show.
Yeah, we're very active right now. So we have PTZ Optics Live, and we used to have Huddle Cam HD Live, and we actually nixed that to pursue other endeavors that we thought might be more successful for us. We have 2 Back to Basics shows, Back to Basics with Huddle Cam and PTZ Optics, which are very product centered. And now we just started a brand new brand, which is my baby, for anybody wondering. I'm like really excited about it. And Paul's like, all right, like, here you go. Like, let's make this work. I'm like, okay, we're doing podcast. It's called Stream Geeks. But we're also live streaming the recording of the podcast, so we could sort of hit all these genres. But I really wanted a place that would be okay for us to talk about less technical stuff, more production centered topics, how we do some of our things that we do, how workflows work for us. And I'm really interested in marketing, of course, which really brought me to this job. And even with live streaming, my interests are less on the technical side, and more about how do people grow their live shows? What is live streaming doing that's more successful than, you know, recorded content, and so on and so forth. So I'm really excited for Stream Geeks.
And but even though it's not camera centered, it's still a production of PTZ Optics. Haverford
yes,
Systems?
it's owned by Haverford Systems. So this is a brand that's an offset of Haverford Systems.
Okay.
It's more brand centered Stream Geeks, more aimed at an entertainment aspect and providing value to our customers that's not related to our products necessarily. We're not trying to push products. It's more about just, but the plan is, and this is, the plan is to hopefully grow our community through that. So there's always a goal.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, it looks like a very community oriented kind of show. That's neat. That's neat. I love it.
That's the biggest gig.
Now let's say it's 5 o'clock and it's time to go home. And you have a Facebook page, excuse me, you have a YouTube page that is full of kinds of things that you do in your spare time when you're not being a mom and not being a wife and not being an assistant to Paul. Tell me what you got going on there. I mean, you know, when I talked to you earlier, you said, oh yeah, it's Tess Pro Beauty. But it's really more than that. Tell me what's going on there.
Well, one big passion of mine is makeup, and specifically I did some stage makeup in college, and I was very interested in that. And so I wanted an outlet before I had this job to keep my mind, I'm a creative person, so I wanted a creative outlet. So I said, okay, let me produce some content on YouTube. I started off by doing Halloween tutorials because it was close to October. And then I did some other beauty ones, and it's really simmered down since I started working here. But I do have some ideas now that I'm in the live streaming industry that I'm hoping to implement in the future with my own passion projects once things have settled down a little bit over here. So the tutorials that you see on YouTube are recorded content that I've produced, but I'm really seeing the transition that, you know, popular YouTube bloggers are going to need to pay attention to, from the recorded content to moving towards live content as it gets seen by so many more people. We know people are watching so much more live video at this time, and it's going to be really important for those you know, successful bloggers to learn to transition over to this new crazy genre.
Yeah.
And I do want. What do you want to talk about? Do you want me to tell you my ideas? Do you want to talk about the
Well,
products that might be involved?
let's start out with this shot right here.
Wait.
Tell us what's going on here.
Wait, on the shot that I have right now?
No, can you see the screen? Can you see what I'm sending you?
There's some latency, so what I'm seeing right now is just us.
Oh, you're watching one of the streams.
Hold on, let me pull you up. Hold on, let me pull make sure I have your vMix input up.
Okay.
No, I don't have your... Oh, here it is. Sorry, I couldn't find it. That was totally on me. Listen, like Tom always says, we're on Streaming Idiots, and this is the place. This is the place that you can be a little blonde. So, you can have some moments, because we're all Streaming Idiots, right? Anyways, the image that you so kindly grabbed.
Yes. Come on.
Okay. So this is a funny story. My husband surprised me with this. It's called the Sephora Vault. So it's 40 different lipsticks in one package, and it's amazing. It's the holy grail. And I said, this would be a great idea if I made a video and swatched, that's what it's called in the makeup YouTube industry, swatch the colors so other girls can go on and see what they may look like on your skin, what the texture is like, and so on and so forth. So there just happened to be some crazy colors in there. That one was black lipstick, and I'm crazy. I was just like, picture me in my room by myself being like, well, this might be interesting. You know, and just being like, I'm wearing black lipstick. Let's do something funny for a still frame. And I kind of liked it, so I went with that with a thumbnail. Listen, it gets people's attention, right? It got your attention.
It did. It did. And you know what got my attention too? Was, and I'm gonna go back to this picture for a second. I'm gonna ask everybody watching, take a look at Tess's eyes. Don't pay attention to the noose or the lipstick, but look at her eyes. Look how striking that is. You got it? You got it? Okay, Tess, tell us how you did that. That's amazing.
Okay. So there's this thing in just YouTube blogging and as well as very common in the beauty industry, the ring in my eyes. It's a light. And it's very common to be watching these tutorials and see this ring. And it's you know, commonly known as the Diva ring light. It's a simple ring light because there's not many multi-camera productions on these YouTube tutorials that just circles around your face and, you know, it brightens you up and it just makes you look like a golden goddess. That's what I say. And it makes you look like a Snapchat filter's on or something. Anyways, I'm balling on a budget. So I said, listen, I'm going to make myself one of these because I think I can figure out how to do it. And I actually have this for you to show you today. Hold on. I got to switch cameras really quick. Here's the wide shot of my Diva ring light, a staple for YouTube bloggers. But I made this myself. It's a wreath holder that I bought from like AC Moore that you would make like Christmas wreaths out of. I bought rope LED lights, strung it around, zip tied them to the wreath. And my husband, I said, listen, you gotta go cut me some PVC pipe. So he cut me some PVC pipe and literally I jury rigged this whole thing together. But let me switch to a different preset here. But it just makes you look like flawless. Let me switch this. Here we go. I don't know. Not that I'm flawless, but it puts this nice, pretty golden haze on your face. And that's the idea of it. And that's what you're seeing in my eyes. Tom's like, what is that in your eyeballs? I'm like, okay, I'll bring this in for you guys. I gotta show you this, my little homemade gadget. What do you think? Crazy?
I think it's outstanding. I love it. I love it. Could never use it, obviously, but it is amazing that, number one, you guys crafted it yourselves, and number two, that it looks so good. I mean, it's a striking look. It is a striking look.
It does. I think even from this shot here to that shot, that lighting is preferable to me. Maybe it's because it makes me look tanner or something, but I don't know. I like it a lot, and I wish that we could use something like that you know, here, but it just doesn't make sense for a bigger production with a set and all that good stuff.
Right. Right. No. But it definitely makes sense to do what you do at home. I mean, that's, I thought that was awesome. I've got a young friend, or actually a friend girl of my youngest son who does that kind of blogging and gets, you know, thousands of viewers, does it as a blog, does it as a video blog, and it's very, very popular. To the point where she's got manufacturers.
Hey, Tom, real quick, are we okay on your website?
I don't know. Somebody says lights use up all the bandwidth.
Yeah, the internet could not contain me. Looks like we're having an issue on Eastern Shore Broadcasting's Watch Live.
Oh, golly.
It's buffering. It's coming in and out, so we got to make sure that we fix that.
Yeah, looks like...
what did I do?
We dropped it.
What did I do?
What did you do, Tess?
I don't know.
Let's see if we can get it back.
Let me say something in the chat really quick. Do you think I did do something?
No. No, there's nothing.
At least for the recorded version, we can just cut this part out. Maybe we should leave it. Here we go. Troubleshooting live.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's what we do. I mean, nothing could be as bad as our interview last week. Freaking CTO of New Tech, and we lose him.
Well, you know, there's life. Okay, let's see. I think we're back now.
You know how, like, people say you can crack the mirror? I just cracked the stream. Jeez, I thought this made me look good, this light. Okay, we're back in action.
Are we back? Okay.
The chat's telling me we're good. Charlie, what did I miss? It was Tom just telling me that he can't believe that I have done this to his show. I'm a show ruiner.
Oh, that must be it. That must be it. Well, you know, in truth, I asked Tess to send me 1080. And we are broadcasting to YouTube in 1080. So there's a lot of bandwidth being used. I did a test this morning. I think I had 70 down and 35 up. So there should be plenty of bandwidth.
Okay.
So we'll have to check later.
Can I drop my bandwidth live,
or
should I just say forget it?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. Rich says the flux capacitor kicked in, so that was probably it. Happens all the time.
Listen, you know that I'm no stranger to problems while live. I completely, you know, understand how that goes.
Well, and that's what it is in a new industry like this, Tess, where, you know, it's not like driving a car. It's not where, you know, everybody knows to turn the key and put the car in gear and to look both ways and then pull out. You know, that workflow is pretty well established. The workflow in live streaming, it depends on the products you're using. Basically, every car has a steering wheel. Not every live stream streams the same way. And so with that unique quality from stream to stream, from product to product, people's workflows have to adjust. And when you, like you guys are doing all sorts of cutting edge stuff, sooner or later something's going to break. But once it breaks a couple of times and you fix it a couple of times, then you know how to keep from, how to prevent it from breaking the next time.
Right. Yes, I will say you do learn something every time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And
it just seems like no matter, sorry.
No, you got it.
I was just going to say that it seems like no matter how much you've perfected your workflow and your shows or how long you've been doing it for, unforeseen issues always arise at some point in time. It's hard not to just, you know, get so scared and just freeze. But you're much more experienced with that than I am, so you don't worry about it when things like that happen.
It's like emotional calluses, you know. After having 1,000 things break in the middle of a live stream, you just get used to it, and you know you just have to keep going until you find the problem.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I don't get the feeling anymore that I did the first show we had. That, you know, my gut just dropped to the floor. When you were my guest on the very first show I did.
Yep.
I thought I was going to pass out.
Well, you did great. It did
But we
not
got
appear
through it.
that way. And I mean, you know, now I would think you would be able to pull it off no problem as a loner, all by yourself,
Yeah.
solo show.
Yeah. I will be 2 weeks from now, I believe.
Okay. And
Paul's
what
going on vacay, a bachelor party.
a bachelor party? He's not a bachelor.
He's going on a well, he's a guest on a bachelor party.
Yeah. Well, pants.
So I'll be on my
That's
own,
the
so
only
we'll
word
see
I
what
have to
happens
say
that
for
day.
him. Pants. Pants. Yeah. He can't hear this, can he? Or else it's delayed. But no, you know, you've got the job I want, because you've got this giant warehouse right there behind you with all these toys in it. And, you know, and then you've got engineers like Matt Davis that are creating more toys or
Genius.
breaking things apart and putting them back together a different way and creating something that wasn't a thing before. I mean, what fun is that? Holy cow. Gee whiz.
It's a lot of fun, and things I didn't think were cool before, now that I'm learning about them, I'm like, wow, this stuff is really cool. And I feel lucky every day to work here because I enjoy my job, but it's just a cool atmosphere to be in. Like, we have a giant 3D LED screen sitting in the warehouse right now that I just went in the other day, and I was like, cool, I'm just watching 3D screens in the middle of work. I mean, it's like, especially for you guys in your audience, Tom, this is like a playground. It's a lot of fun.
So I think Paul needs to have a play day. We'll set a play date, and everybody can fly into Pennsylvania and play with all your toys. I think you guys ought to have an open house. I
Hey,
think
you
it would
might
be
have just gave us an
spectacular.
idea.
Yep. And you could,
Well,
of course, you
Streaming
could live
Awards was
stream
an
it.
open invitation, but
Yep.
maybe next year's Streaming Awards will be even bigger, and we can sell it more as a play day type thing as well.
No, the play date needs
That's
to
an
be all
idea.
by itself. Because the streaming awards you guys are
You
going to
think
hold
that
in
okay.
Yeah, you're going to hold that in an auditorium next year. You'll have to have all the people.
You think?
Oh yeah, because everybody will come. Oh yeah, golly gee.
Yeah. I mean, the first year with these events is always, you don't know what's going to happen, and you're not sure what to expect, but maybe next
Right.
year we'll be able to grow it to that place. That would be
Right.
amazing.
Right. Well, and what you want to do is you want to mimic. I think you want to mimic the Academy Awards, and you want to have guest announcers. So you're going to bring in somebody that's going to present this award.
The Tom Sinclair.
Well, or Zach Adams is going to come in and present the award for best producer because he won it last year. That kind of stuff. So you kind of wind
Right.
it all together from year to year. Zach's going to be on our
I
show
like your
next
ideas.
week. Actually, we're doing a special nighttime version.
Really?
At 7 o'clock
That'll
Eastern.
be fun.
Yeah.
I just caught him on Luria's show on Live
Yep.
Streaming Pros.
Zach and I
Good
go
for him.
way back to the VidBlaster days. Holy cow! Yeah, that was
Really?
That's ancient
Maybe
history.
he'll. Is that your first name?
I did a show called That VidBlaster Guy. Yep. And that's back when we thought
I wonder,
VidBlaster
a question
was
for
gonna be the next
you.
best. Yeah.
What made you change that name?
The show was specifically about the software, VidBlaster. And
Oh.
just like you guys realized
Okay.
with the PTZ Optics shows, when you went to Stream Geeks, that's when we created Streaming Idiots, because we needed something that
There
didn't
you
limit
go.
us as much, and we could talk about not just
Exactly.
software, but we could talk about cameras and microphones and mixers and the whole nature of streaming, and we could bring in guests that weren't necessarily VidBlaster people. And so it just opened the door. And then after I saw the handwriting on the wall, after about 6 months, we just retired the show. And then, of course,
Yeah.
vMix just was on the ascendancy at that point and just was taking over the market. And so we had to go with vMix. There was no choice. It was too good. It was too good not to go with.
Is there any information we could pull out of you on your business negotiations that you were hinting at?
Yeah, that didn't work. That didn't work. Yeah, it looked like we were going to private label and be a CDN, but it just didn't work. Right
Really?
now,
I could have
actually,
used you this weekend.
yeah. Right now, actually, I'm building a prototype for a streaming PC to be used in elementary schools. So We're hoping to bring that to market through a reseller. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
I mentioned to Paul, I was like, maybe we should do become a CDN, and that didn't work out either. I tried. Maybe that's just not. I don't know.
You gotta stay with your core talents, and whatever those core talents are, you can branch out into other industries, but it's still using that core talent. I mean, if all of a sudden the medical industry woke up and said they needed an NDI PTZ camera, you guys would be perfectly positioned for that. But y'all are not going to go in and start making operating room equipment. It's not your core talent. It's not what your guys do and what they like to do. Stay with your core talent. Your core talent is on the ascendancy. You guys are on the right part of the wave. I'm convinced of it, and you're riding the wave beautifully. Yeah. Kudos to Paul and you and all the other folks that are steering the ship there at PTZ Optics. Yep. Yeah, I had a 10 camera order for you guys week before last that we ended up shipping to Switzerland. I mean, go figure. And that was a great guy, Martin. I think Martin's in the chat.
It's good for everyone.
It was good for everybody. Yep. And we had a hiccup, but we fixed it and moved on. Yeah. So
we love working with you, Tom.
So what's next for Tess? What are you going to do next? What if you could do anything with live streaming, what would you do next?
If I could do anything with live streaming, of course I'm interested in beauty blogging, but I have this idea for a different workflow that might be able to implement live streaming and recorded content together and make it work for a nice smooth transition for those people moving from recorded to live. So we've been talking about our Z cams, okay? Now these are not pan tilt zoom cameras, but they have a great picture. That's what you're seeing out of right now. And I'm trying to convince Paul to let me have one of these, so we'll see. Because I want to take it home, I want to put it on a tripod just as if it were the ever so popular, oh my gosh, digital SLR cameras that all the bloggers use. That's what they're used to. They may not be comfortable with pan tilt zoom cameras maybe, or maybe they don't want a bunch of different, they have static images a lot of the times.
Right.
But with, for example, the Z cams, they're affordable and you can hook up right to your internet and you can stream from them. So what I'm thinking is you would have a recorded piece of content already prepared of the beauty tutorial, and then you would make your live streaming event where you would then play the recorded content and communicate with your audience about what you're doing, how you're doing the application, fast forward through the boring parts and whatnot, and be able to answer questions live about whatever that makeup application is. Specifically, since I'm interested in stage makeup, I have this idea for this upcoming Halloween, and you guys can tell me in the chat if you think that this is lame. Even though you're all men, you can just tell me because you know. I wanted to do maybe like a 13-day Halloween makeup live splurge. So I would have 13 pieces of recorded Halloween looks, makeup looks for girls that could be easy and fun for Halloween makeup looks. Now, I haven't even told Paul this, so this might just be ridiculous. So you have 13 looks. You go live for 13 days in a row, displaying the recorded content of the look, answering questions about where you can get the makeup, how the makeup's applied, while you're showing the tutorial. That's my big idea. Hopefully nobody steals it from me. What do you think, Tom?
I love it. I love it. Now, you have a little bit of a history of this kind of makeup. I mean, it's not like this is a new idea that you've never done before. Don't you? Let's see if we can bring in something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I sent you some video clips. The one was the butterfly fairy makeup. Every Halloween I've always like.
Hi everyone,
sorry, go ahead.
Tess Protesto here. Welcome to my channel.
So let's fast forward just a tab
to show what product I'm using. I'm starting by making a thin black line at the top of where.
And we'll fast forward just a little bit more.
Now I'm going to create some more.
Oh my gosh, you grabbed this one. Oh my gosh, you're embarrassing me.
And we'll fast forward just a little bit more.
Basically, you have to get the end.
So now I'm going to go go back in and just sort of fix things that I didn't think looked perfect before. Maybe add a couple thin black lines to...
That is too cool. That is too cool. Tess?
I have a lot of fun.
It looks like you're having a lot of fun.
That's basically the idea. And, you know, also because I don't have a lot of time to maybe do something so consistent right now, that's why I'm thinking of, you know, 13 pieces of content, put it out there and wait and see how the reaction is to that. It's also prime time when girls are YouTubing, you know, Halloween makeup ideas, easy makeup for Halloween.
Right.
So that's kind of my approach right now.
Awesome. Well, and if you had a sponsor that provided a particular piece of equipment or makeup or something like that, and that sponsor could not just do that, but actually could throw in a few bucks to help you promote it online.
If Paul maybe would let me, maybe I would film it here or something. It's potential. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
He's watching now, so he'll have to tell me what he thinks.
I mean, the no pants video from 2 weeks ago has gone viral, at least in my world. We've almost got 10,000 views on it.
Really? That's awesome, Tom.
That's how many people wanted to see Paul without pants. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, it was really smart of you to pick out a piece of that entire show that really, you know, would have done that, like, you know, gotten you that extra edge. That's what I always try and do, and it's easier said than done, but you have an eye for it, huh?
Well, you know, I know what I like. I know what I like. And I know what I think is, I mean, this show right now, if you go to YouTube and you look on genre, you know what this show is classified as?
What?
Comedy.
I laugh every time.
It's comedy. That's right. I mean, but we're learning, we're having fun, we're laughing, and we feel good when it's done. You know, we come away feeling, oh, that was fun. I can't wait to do that again next week. And that's one of the reasons why I shortened my show from an hour to a half an hour, because I want people to say, oh, that wasn't long enough. I want to go watch another one, or I can't wait till next week. You know, it's like a good dessert. It's like a good dessert. You don't want to fill them up with it.
Right.
You want to give them just enough so they taste it and enjoy it and want more. Yep. Leave them wanting more. Yeah. Yeah. So I love the fact that you guys are doing it. Today's show was the PTZ. What was the show that you did today? Wednesday's show?
We do Back to Basics.
Back to Basics. And that's a half an hour show, right? I love it.
Yeah. Even shorter sometimes, but yeah, half an hour. It's supposed to be quick. To the point.
I'm thinking about starting a 10-minute show.
Really?
Yeah, like on Mondays or Tuesdays, or maybe Fridays after you guys or something like that. That's just, you know, just straight and to the point, some good tips, some meaty stuff, and then boom, you're out. We'll see that.
That's what people like. I had for a long time thought I was just going to do 2-minute makeup tutorials. I mean, I have so many different ideas, but it's hard for me to find time to implement them. But that was another thing. It's like people don't have time to watch long things. They fast forward to the end anyways. So I like that idea for short, to the point, but great value.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. Well, Tess, we're going to have to cut this show. I mean, we could chat all afternoon.
I could talk to you all day.
Yeah, you got to go pick up kids in 18 minutes. So we're gonna end the show, but I want you to hang around for just a few minutes and chat, because I think the folks in chat would love to ask some questions. But we're gonna wrap up here, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've watched this far on YouTube, you need to go ahead and subscribe. You're hooked. You want more, I know. I'm Tom Sinclair. It's easternshorebroadcasting.com. If you've got an interest in vMix or Magewell capture cards, PTZ Optics cameras, we represent PTZ Optics. We also represent the great guys that make the X keys. So come join us. And next week, when we have Zach Adams on the show, it's going to be a special 7 p.m. Eastern Time show. And Zach is the winner of the Streaming Awards. He won the whole thing, as well as getting the #1 in the production category. So he won the production category and he won the overall award. Zach and I go way back to the VidBlaster days, and he's going to be on the show. That's next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be really cool. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching live, hang out for the post show. We'll be back with that in just a minute. And if I can find my outro here, where is the outro? I've moved all my buttons around. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, see y'all. Take care. Okay, Tess, your mic is live now. I know how much you guys like to be live during the credits.
Oh, I'm live? Geez, so you did that just for me, didn't you?
Just for you.
Paul, are you hearing this?